In the meantime, I'll get us started here. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Jasper with SCORE Maine. I'm joined by Emily Braley from Maine Technology Institute, here to talk about MTI's MERC program for consulting, the Maine Entrepreneurial Resource Corps. It's a interesting new service that we're excited to share with you guys. And I do want to thank MTI for your continued support of SCORE. And if this is your first time joining a SCORE workshop, you're not familiar with us, we're a resource partner of the Small Business Administration. We help clients from all stages of the business cycle, from pre-start to exit. If you have any questions today, feel free to throw them in the chat or wait until the end and we can have you come off of mute. Otherwise, Emily, why don't you take it away?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jasper. Hi, everyone. As Jasper introduced, my name is Emily Braley, and I'm the program coordinator for Maine Technology Institute's Maine Entrepreneurial Resource Corps, or MERC program. I am so excited to be here collaborating with SCORE. As I'm sure many of you know, SCORE is a phenomenal resource, and we're always grateful to have the opportunity to share our programs and resources with SCORE's network. So with that, I would love to start this presentation just discussing a little bit behind the why of the MERC program. We understand through working with many entrepreneurs that consultants play a critical role in a business's growth, but startups oftentimes face barriers to working with consultants. One of those is identifying a consultant who is reliable and has the skill set they need and is a good fit for the business. And then another barrier is paying for that work, as for good reason, consultants can be expensive. So, in acknowledgement of these challenges and these barriers, MTI created the MERC program. And our mission with MERC is to make it more affordable and more efficient for Maine businesses to work with the wonderful technical consultants we have here within the state of Maine. And we do that through utilizing a database of vetted Maine consultants to facilitate short-term projects between eligible businesses and the consultants in our database. And if a business and consultant put forward a project that is approved by MTI, we'll pay for 50% of the project cost up to $15,000. All MERC grants are awarded on a per project basis, so applicants will apply with a discrete project in mind. And I've listed some of the key things that we're looking for when we evaluate projects. One is that the project is short-term and achievable within 3 months, as 3 months is our maximum project duration. We also want to see that the project is $30,000 or less, as we will contribute up to $15,000 and the business is responsible for paying the other $15,000, totaling $30,000 in project costs. And then finally, the project must support the research, development, commercialization, and/or scaling of a new innovative technology. And I'll talk more about this innovative technology piece in a bit. To be eligible for MERC funding, a business must satisfy our 6 eligibility criteria. The first 2 are pretty straightforward. The business must be based in Maine. We are a taxpayer-funded organization. We do receive our funding from the Maine legislature, so we want to put that back into the hands of Maine businesses. We also want to see that a business has access to matching funds, as they are responsible for paying the other 50% of the project cost to our consultants. Next, a business must be within one of our 7 targeted technology sectors. More information about each of these sectors is available online at MTI's website, but just to give you a quick overview, the sectors include biotechnology, composites and advanced materials, environmental technology, information technology, precision manufacturing, forest products and agriculture, and then aquaculture and marine technology. Next, a business must have a goal to support Maine's economy. Again, we are taxpayer funded, and our goal as being a 501c3 nonprofit is to elevate Maine's economy. So we want to see that a business has plans to positively impact the state of Maine, typically in the form of high quality jobs and creating high quality jobs, but also through attracting investment to the state, improving on our state's infrastructure, and supporting our supply chains. A business must also be under 5 million in annual revenue. MERC is really targeted towards smaller growing businesses, so we want to direct our businesses to those that are under 5 million in annual revenue. And then finally, a business must have a technology innovation. Now, I want to pause here and touch on this innovative technology piece and define this as it can be a point of confusion, especially for first-time MTI applicants. There are many different ways that a business can be innovative. However, MTI has a specific definition that we look for in our assessment of fit. What we are looking to see is that a business has a technology that is differentiated from other market alternatives, and that this differentiator gives them a defensible advantage over their competitors. And then finally, we also want the business to be able to show that this differentiator solves a key pain point and addresses a clear market need, either through sharing customer discovery or customer validation through sales or market research. So when we look at innovation, we want to see how unique and different is this product compared to competitors and how is it better. And then also we want to see the market research piece to understand that the market really desires this differentiator that the business is offering. Awesome. So now that we've covered eligibility criteria, I'd love to share more about the kinds of work that MERC can support. On, excuse me, on the screen, I've listed the areas where MERC consultants can provide expertise, but this is by no means an exhaustive list. I like to tell businesses that if they have a need that can be solved by a consultant, and we can find that person within the state of Maine, we can likely turn it into a MERC project. But to get you thinking with some concrete examples, I've listed some of our most popular projects on the screen, including working with a fractional CFO to support fundraising or financial modeling, web design, marketing strategy, legal support, IP, custom software development, and really so many different projects that we can support through the MERC program. Next, moving on to the application process. Now, all of this information is available on our website, so you can look through each of these pieces in detail, but I'd love to just give you a high-level overview of what we are looking for and what you can expect should you choose to apply for a MERC award. The process starts with submitting an interest form, which you can find on our website, and then I will reach out to schedule a meeting with you. As you saw earlier in the presentation, we do have quite specific eligibility criteria, and admittedly, these can be a bit confusing. So all of us at MTI, our investment officers, and myself as the MERC coordinator, like to hold this initial meeting to share more about what we're looking for, learn about your business, answer your questions, and give you a sense if there's initial fit with MTI before you choose to go through our application process, which can take 4 to 8 weeks for MERC. If we think there's a fit, I'll then send the application to the business for them to fill out. Of course, they apply, and if the application is approved, the business will then go into a consultant selection phase. If the company already has a consultant in mind who they want to work with, that's perfectly fine. They can choose to work with them. However, if they're interested in finding or utilizing one of the consultants within our network and they haven't already chosen a consultant, we can help them as well. But no matter how they choose a consultant, we'll then ask for the business to submit a scope of work for MTI's review. This is a very straightforward scope of work, and we do have a scope of work guide available for businesses to refer to in putting this together. But essentially, we're looking for project activities, associated deliverables, timeline, and very much importantly, the final project cost that is agreed upon between the client and consultant, as that project cost is what we will use to determine our award amount. We'll just take that, split it right down the middle, and that's what we'll include in our final contract, which we'll then send to you, the business, for your approval. And at that point, once we have all that paperwork in place, the project can begin. And then once the project is completed, we will then issue a check directly to the business for 50% of the project cost, with the intention that the business uses this to pay the consultant any outstanding balance or reimburse themselves for any fees they've already incurred, as the payment terms are entirely up to the business and consultant. Now, I am almost to the end of my presentation, but I did want to touch on a new program that MTI just launched as an add-on to the MERC program, which is our MERC AI program. And this program is intended to help businesses understand AI and learn about it and educate themselves at their own pace, with the hope that they can get their questions answered, explore the tools out there, and then learn how they can incorporate these tools practically into their business operations to improve their productivity and growth. We deliver this education through a partnership with Coursera. And if you are not familiar with Coursera, they are an online educational platform offering courses from accredited universities like Harvard and MIT and Vanderbilt and Stanford, as well as large organizations like Microsoft and Meta and IBM and Google. And they have over 13,000 courses generally on their platform, but last year they launched a generative AI course catalog, which has 350 plus and growing courses specifically about AI, which we have given all of our users access to. So businesses can apply for up to 3 licenses for a 4-month period. And unlike MTI's other programs, a business does not need to be developing or commercializing an innovation. They only need to be Maine-based and within one of our targeted technology sectors to be eligible for one of these licenses, as we view it as an innovation cultivating activity and hope that businesses can use these tools, learn about AI, and then innovate within their own businesses. Next, I have just some rapid fire FAQ, which are important points that don't really fit anywhere else in the presentation, but are generally helpful for businesses to know about the MERC program. We often get asked if businesses can use their own consultant who they may have a pre-existing relationship with or may have been referred by a friend. That is absolutely fine so long as the consultant is based in Maine and willing to join our database if they are not already within our database of vetted consultants. We also get the question of what happens if your project needs to be modified partway through. That's perfectly fine. We just ask that the business and consultant jointly submit a new scope of work for MTI's approval. We do have a funding cap, a lifetime per business funding cap of $30,000. We have within a 12-month period and per project cap of $15,000. However, every 12 months, that money can reset and businesses can access up to $30,000 or $60,000 total in project fees through the MERC program. And companies can utilize the MERC program however many times they wish, so long as they have not maxed out on their available funding. And they can also work on projects concurrently. Say you have a legal need and a financial need, businesses can apply for 2 separate projects at once, so long as they do not overlap. And finally, the typical project turnaround time is 4 to 8 weeks, but this can vary a lot based on the application, how many questions our review team has about the business, and then also how long it takes to select a consultant and put together a scope of work. So that is all I have for the MERC program. It's a pretty straightforward program. However, if you do have any questions, I'm happy to answer them now, or we can connect later to share more about MTI and MERC. But thank you so much.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, we appreciate you speaking on the topic today, Emily. If anyone has any questions today, feel free to throw them in the chat. We can address them now, or you can come off a mute and have you ask your question. I'm sure, finding consultants is, a tough topic, and, the MERC program sounds like it's here to help.
Yeah, it is amazing what kind of expertise we have within the state of Maine. We have some phenomenal consultants within our state, which I didn't know until I started this job. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I feel like working with SCORE, I feel like I'm learning new stuff about our landscape here every day. So,
Absolutely.
well, in any case, if there aren't any questions right now, I can include Emily's contact info so that you can follow up down the road. Oh, Jen, you have your hand up.
Yep. Do you know if any other entity in Maine will offer something similar to your AI offer, your education offer, to businesses that wouldn't technically fall within those 7 categories. And I asked that because that is a huge, really good, timely thing to have, because it's so I don't know what information technology includes in one of your categories, but we all need to understand how to integrate AI safely and securely to our businesses in ways that will best benefit us. And I just think that's a great offer, that 4 months of, I've taken 2 courses at Vanderbilt and they are great.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Jen, for sharing that. And I absolutely agree that it's essential for all businesses to get this training. And interestingly, I know the state of Maine has an AI task force right now, where if you go to the governor's office of innovation in the future, I don't quite remember the acronym, but you can see recordings from the task force in which the task force is looking at different ways to help Maine businesses and Maine's workforce learn about AI and stay up to date on this evolving technology. And I believe there will be recommendations finalized soon. I'm hopeful that there will be additional training for all businesses within the state of Maine to see if they can utilize this technology. So I would follow the task force if you're interested in the future and seeing what kind of support will be available. But for now, I'd be happy to connect offline to maybe see if there's a way you could fit into one of our technology sectors and utilize this resource yourself, or if you were thinking of others who might benefit from it. I'm happy to chat further, but I appreciate your comment and
I
question.
would
I
love
totally agree.
to, thank you, Emily. I would love to chat further, and I would love to understand a little bit better, because I work with small businesses in my area and I would love to be giving correct information out.
No plug
Absolutely.
for us here as well. We have a workshop. I've run a few SCORE workshops on integrating AI to your business as well. I
I've
can
taken
include the
a
link.
couple of those, Jasper. The
Cool.
last one with Jam was fantastic.
Glad to hear. Glad to
Wow.
hear. Well, we'll continue to offer new, AI topics. I think here in Maine, we're hosting one later in the month that's focused on, it starts to be focused on vacation rentals and, service industries, or as in, restaurants and the like. But I think it's an applicable workshop for, any business in the state of Maine, even though its focus is initially on rental, vacation rentals and, restaurants.
That
But
would be a good one, the rental one, because it would have to include a way to keep your client information secure and
hmm,
confidential. And that's one of the issues that people are running into, is how to stay
absolutely.
outside of the scrapers.
100%. All right. Well, do we have any other questions today? Well, in that case, I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank Emily for a great presentation, and MTI for continuing to support and work with us here at SCORE. We were recording, so Nick, waving, or you got your hand up. But either way, if you're not familiar with us, we offer free confidential one-on-one mentoring on a wide variety of topics, such as this here today, AI for your business, accounting, business plans, and more. You can get, if you're not already working with a SCORE mentor, now's a great time to do it. Head to score.org and enter your zip code right on the front page to get signed up with one of our mentors. We were recording today, and for your, perusing leisure, if you missed anything, I'll be sending that out shortly. We also include a survey in the follow-up email from me, Jasper with SCORE. We take your feedback seriously and we really appreciate you filling out that survey. And last but not least, I just want to thank Emily again, and I want to thank MTI once more for helping make this event possible.
Awesome. Thank you, Jasper. Thank you, everyone, and happy to connect in the future as well if you have questions.
Great to hear. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.